going to be tying up some treble hooks. Already did a few earlier. Got some drying up here. Got some glue drying, and got some of them already done and on. And just wanted to take a few minutes and show you some of the different styles of hooks and different ways that you can use them depending on the type of lure you're using, and what we can do to dress these lures up, give them a little more movement, give them a little more flash, and get those fish to zero in and strike them. First thing you see out here I've got laying out in front of me is a couple of big topwater baits, and they've both got this treble hook style with the one extra wide gap hook. So it's got two regular, whatever the hook size is, and then one extra wide gap, almost like a worm hook on it. Here it is in a number 4. It's a little easier to see because this one's got less material in the way. But you can see, just like the front hook on that lure, it's got a number 4 treble, but the top hook is a extra wide gap hook, and those are real popular. They're becoming more popular all the time, and they really increase your hookup percentages when those fish come up and strike on the top water. I find that I get a better hookup ratio if I've got those on. The ones I'm primarily using these days are made by VMC. Pro Series Sure Set is the brand and the type. But you can see they're a real neat hook. But then I'm also using, this is another VMC hook. That's a Rapala premium extra strong round bend treble. Those ones are size 2, and that's what I'm going to be tying here now for you to go on this topwater bait. Nice rattling, noisy bait made by Livingston Lures. But you can see, just comes with the standard 2 treble hooks on there. No dressed, nothing special on the back end or the front end. And what we want to do is dress it up a little bit. And I've got some teal flank feathers here. I've got a nice little piece of orangey red hackle and a nice black hackle, and I'm going to use that combination with this particular lure, and see if we can dress him up a little bit and make him a little flashier, and see if we can entice those big girls to slam him. So I'll get my vise over here. Good and tight. We're going to use black thread on this one to match that bait and what we're trying to do with it. Okay. Just want to get a good thread base down. That gets you connected well to the hook, and it also gives a little more bite on those feathers, or bucktail or squirrel hair or whatever you happen to be tying with. Just gives it a little bit more to bite onto, so it doesn't slide around on the shank of that hook so much. We'll snip that off right there. First thing I want to do is I'm going to put this orange tip on, and I like to throw a little bit of color even in a plain black and white lure like this one we're making. I like to throw just a little bit of a red in there, or an orange, or something pink. Sometimes, just depends what I'm in the mood for. But I want something that gives it just a little more pop. And rather than using some Flash-A-Boo or some crystal flash or anything like that on this lure, I figured I'd just use one bright feather in there. So we want to tie that in up there on the front, holding it in place while I start it. And you want to tie it pretty tight in front, and then as you come toward the back, give it a little bit looser, not much, but just a little, and that'll keep that feather laying a little flatter rather than making it flare up. Sometimes you want them to flare up, sometimes you want them to lay a little flatter. This particular one we want to lay just a little flatter. We don't want him way up in the air. So that's good there. Now, we'll take this black hackle and I want to pull back just a little. Snip that out. What we're looking to make is a series of little V's. We're going to lay these in under these teal feathers and help those black and white bars on those teal feathers really pop out against this black background. So I'm going to need 3 of these, and I'm going to make them about ½ an inch long. So there's 1. There's 2. There's number 3. We don't need a whole lot, just enough to give it a little black background behind those teal feathers. So pull the loose stuff off, clean them up a little bit, and I'll just lay this first one right on top of that one that's up there. Move it back. Tie it down, pull away and take a look at him there. Looks like he's going to be okay. Okay. I don't have a rotating vise, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this up, rotate it 1/3 turn. I'm going to do the next one. So again, I'm going to lay it right on there. Hard when you got big fingers and a small hook, but that in. Once again, when I open it up, give it 1/3 of a turn. Get my next little V here. Lay that one in. You don't have to worry about making these perfect, but you do want to make sure that you get them tied down really well, because you don't want the fish pulling it away from you. You end up with an empty hook when you draw back in. Okay, so it's got my blacks in there. I'm going to take these little teal feathers and I'm going to pull all that fuzzy stuff off the bottom. So just grab it and pull, and it'll pull right back. Once you get it back a little ways, then just snip it off. That gives you a little stem to tie to. And we'll do the same thing with these two. We need 3 of them. Push all that fuzzy stuff and all those pieces of feather to the side there, get them out of your way. Now on these teal feathers, or on any feather, there's a curve to the feather. And what you want to do is you want to put that so that curve comes up and out away from the hook. So once again, I'm laying that right in there, getting the little tip of that feather, in my thread. Just giving her a few good wraps, holding down there. I'm gonna give it that third of a turn again. Do the same thing on this one. Get a position where you want it. Tie it down. Give another third of a turn. Set that feather in there. It's got a little piece hanging off of it. I want to get out of there because if I don't get that now, it'll end up in those threads and give me a hard time when I go to finish the wrap. So I take that, stick it right up here, and get the end of it with that line. Make sure it's still straight. Sometimes they want to twist on you. You got to pull them back around and take that thread and catch it so it'll stay where you want it. Okay. Pull them back a little farther now to draw them in. Now we're going to tie that off and call this one finished, I believe. If I can find my whip finisher, that is, I will. There it is, right in front of me. Put it in there. A few turns. Lock her down. Do another one here, just to be sure. That all down tight. Snip it up close, but not all the way to the end, or you will sometimes give it too much and it can pull back through on you. So I'm going to take some head cement, the head cement all the way around. You want to get all that thread covered really well. Clear back to those feathers and don't even be afraid to get a little bit on those. Whether you're using feathers, bucktail, whatever you're using, don't be afraid to get a little bit on them right there at the back of the thread to make sure that you get the thread covered well. That's the most important thing, and that'll help hold them in anyway. So then we'll just let that dry for a few minutes, and that one will be ready to put on the lure. Here's the before on that lure with just the plain stock hooks on it. And you know, it looks fine, there's nothing wrong with it, but we're just trying to give it a little more flash and a little more pizzazz to get those fish to bite. Now there's a finished look at that lure. You can see now we got a lot more going on back here, a lot more to show action, displace water, and entice those fish to bite. So I'm happy with it. I think it turned out okay, and I think we're going to have to give him a try.